What if I told you that there's a way to make around about 20 billion GP in one drop in RuneScape 3? What if I told you there was a way to do this? Would you believe me? Would you think it was possible? Well, technically, no, it's not possible. But wait, Init, you titled this video as you can actually make around about 20 billion GP if you get lucky in this game. How? What are you talking about? Well, technically, again, there is a way that you could actually just get incredibly lucky with one drop and get yourself 20 billion GP for RuneScape 3. So in this video, we are going to talk about how you might go about doing that. And then we're going to also go into a little bit of a discussion whether you guys think it should be even allowed, whether you should think it should be possible. And of course, I want to hear from you guys in the comments about this one, because again, it's definitely a lot of money. And the best way of getting all this money isn't even playing RuneScape 3. Anyway, now that I've mentioned that, let's get into this video. If you enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's go. So how exactly would you go about getting over 20 billion GP in one instance of a lot of luck, a hell of a lot of luck, don't get me wrong, in RuneScape 3? How would you do that? Well, the answer to this, like I said, is not playing RuneScape 3. It is actually playing old school RuneScape. Now, with the new content released in old school RuneScape, there is a hell of a lot of money able to be made from the new boss. Now, any of you that don't realize this, it is absolutely perfectly legal and not against the RuneScape terms of service to swap gold between the games. You have to find someone who you can trust to do it, of course, and there is risk involved in doing so, as it does involve you having to trade your gold to a person who is going to be doing swaps, and then swapping the gold over to RuneScape 3 and trading them again. There is a lot of risk involved. You have to trade it to them, they have to trade it back. However, there are friends chats that will do this, and I know a few of them that are actually usable, and I've used them in the past, and I know that they have a good reputation. I am not going to name any of them, because if any of you do get scammed in any way whatsoever, I do not want to be responsible, so there is a high risk in this. That being said, at the moment in old school RuneScape, the Raids 3 has a reward that is worth 1.8 billion GP. This is the current price. I will put it on the screen. Old school RuneScape has a live Grand Exchange, like traded value thing, so you can't even, like, there's no arguing this. This is what the value of this is worth. Now, the current exchange rates in old school RuneScape to RuneScape 3 is around about 1 to 12. Now, I have had prices from different places saying there's a little higher than that, a little bit lower than that, so you can take it however you want. But as of right now, of me making this video, the last quote I had was 1 to 12, meaning you can swap 1 million GP, old school RuneScape, to RuneScape 3 for 12 million GP. That is absolutely crazy, and if you think about it this way, if you can get yourself a 1.8 billion GP drop in old school RuneScape with a lot of luck, well, that is going to be a lot of money. That is going to be exactly 21,600 million GP. Done. Done and dusted. 21.6 bill in RuneScape 3 from getting one drop in old school RuneScape. So, as of right now, the best way to make money in RuneScape 3 is to play old school RuneScape. You will have to be able to do the high level content, you will have to have a high level account, and you will have to be able to get a lot of luck on getting the actual staff from the Raids 3. But this is insanely good money. Like, you will not be able to get this money in RuneScape 3 in any way whatsoever in the future. Right now, it's not possible to get that much money in one go. Of course, you will not probably get one of these staffs in the first hour, the first few hours. It could take a lot of hours, but it happens. People go here, they get one kill count, they get a staff, that's it. You could transfer that over to RuneScape 3 if you wanted to. As I said, this does include a hell of a lot of risk, and it is something that you will have to absolutely consider the fact of whether you want to even keep it on old school RuneScape or whether you want to bring it to RuneScape 3. But as of right now, getting things like a party hat in game is incredibly difficult to even consider. Because of how little the money-making methods are in the game, you just don't really reach that thing. Our biggest drop in RuneScape 3 right now is a bow piece from the Bow of the Last Guardian. One of the bow pieces from this will net you just over max cash, and that is absolutely nowhere near comparable to getting one rare drop in old school RuneScape and swapping it over to RuneScape 3 via the gold swapping. It's insane to think that you could get this much money in RuneScape 3 from playing old school. Your most efficient way of getting gold in this game is to play a different game. So because it is legal to do so and it's not against the rules to do so, Jagex have literally said it's okay to swap this. It's your own risk. It is what it is. I mean, One thing I will mention is you may have a possible chance of being flagged for real world trade if a random person does just trade you that much money in one go, but I assume it will be able to be linked back to someone who quite often does this gold swapping, and they can probably see that when they investigate it. You don't just get an insta ban straight away when you actually get flagged for this. They do investigate it, and they'll likely see that you've just swapped the gold from old school RuneScape to RuneScape 3, and personally I don't know anyone who has done a swap this way and been banned for it. That being said, I'm not saying it can't possibly happen. It is a possibility, and again, it is the risk that you'll have to take with this, but being able to make that much money in one go, definitely still possible. So now that you know how you would actually go about getting that much money in RuneScape 3 in one instance is playing old school RuneScape and getting a drop there and transferring the gold over, do you guys think that this should be allowed? Do I think that this should be allowed, and do you think it's a problem? Personally, I don't really see a problem with it whatsoever. I don't personally have an issue with this, and I think that it is what it is. If you can swap gold between the games, you have a respected like clan or friends chat or whatever that you know doesn't actually scam people, and you know it's safe, then fine, that's fine. And if Jagex are okay with it, then I don't see a problem with it personally. However, it is a big amount of gold to actually be able to get in RuneScape 3, and it is a bit strange to think that to make more money than you possibly could in this game, you should play a different game, which is still RuneScape, but it's old school RuneScape, a completely different game than RuneScape 3. So to me, it is a bit strange, but I don't really have an issue with it, and I think that it's a very interesting way that people probably do play the game. I know a lot of people do jump between old school and RuneScape 3, and they play both games, and personally, if I had the time, I would play both games as well, so you can swap back and forth between them. Keep in mind that swapping gold from old school to RuneScape 3 and then vice versa, you are going to lose money. You can't take 10 mil, give it to old school, and then take that and give it straight back, and then have 10 million GP again. They do take a bit off the top, the rates are different, so you may have a 1 to 10 from old school to RuneScape, but then you'll have like a 12 to 1 from RuneScape 3 to old school RuneScape. So they do make money in between, and they do keep that money, which is fair. They're offering a service, they're spending their own time doing this, and that's what makes sense. But I don't think there's an issue with allowing this to happen and swapping the gold between them. I think it's fine, and to be honest, I think it's kind of a good thing for the game in a way that it means that people can happily play both games and can kind of keep their accounts connected, and it does kind of make that bridge between playing RuneScape 3 and old school RuneScape in a way that kind of just, I think it's just good for the game. If you have one game where someone is miles ahead and they only play old school RuneScape and they've got all this money, if they want to try out RuneScape 3, they have that option to dump all that gold through there, swap it over, and then boost their way through RuneScape 3, which in my opinion, again, is fine. They've done the work on old school. If they can do that, then why not? And if it keeps them playing both games, then that's obviously good for both of the games, like economy, both of the games play count, all that sort of good stuff. I don't see a problem with it. The only problem that I do have with it is the fact that it is a risky thing, and of course, people will get scammed. People are going to get scammed. This is a thing that happens all the time. People trust the wrong people. They get lured off by someone else who says they can do it. They don't really like do the research and finding out who can like do the trading properly and stuff, and this is exactly the reason that I'm not going to also give the names. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. I could tell you the people that I'm pretty certain wouldn't be able to scam people, but then if I send all the people that way and you guys all go swapping with them, and then they go never mind, JK, we're going to do that, and then they all take all the money, then it comes down to me. I've sent you guys there, and I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, just be careful. Make sure you find people, ask people who you know, like people, if you know someone who can do it, like go through there, do your research, make sure you find people, and do small swaps. If you're going to swap gold, then swap from a smaller amount to a higher amount, and people who have an issue with you swapping a smaller amount probably going to take your money. If they don't have an issue with it, then they're probably okay. And that's the way it is. My experience is I actually, when I swap through, I swap like 10 mil at a time out of 100 mil, 200 mil, whatever it was. I just did like little chunks each time. They didn't mind doing 3 or 4 trades. They really didn't. They weren't bothered. It's fair enough, and it makes sense to me. They're making the money at the end of the day. You're getting your money back. It's a safer way to do it. If you go in and they're like, no, you can either trade like 10 bill or nothing, maybe, just maybe they're gonna just take that, because just play it safe, be careful with it. It is what it is. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. This is gonna be the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy, you found it interesting. I just found this really interesting. I thought it was very strange to consider that doing raids 3 in old school RuneScape, maybe even making money in general in old school RuneScape, is more per hour than we can possibly imagine to get in RuneScape 3. Anyway, if you enjoyed, do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Channel members, your names will be on screen at some point. Thank you all so much for the extra support. I really do appreciate it. You guys would have got this video nice and early too. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys.